Hey y'all, so in today's video I want to talk about why I decided to do pharmacy. I used to always worry about what people thought of me and would try so hard to live by society's standards. Then I realized that I was created to be different, and regardless of what I did, I would never fit in. So I decided to follow my dreams instead. Join me on this journey as I grow in my faith, go through the ups and downs of pharmacy school, and most importantly, being God's masterpiece. So I got this question on my channel about can you do a video about why you decided pharmacy? And I was like, oh, that's a really good question because I don't think I ever really talked about it on my channel. So I was like, great, we can do that. I kind of just will tell you a little background. I feel like I probably mentioned it in other videos, but I have over 200 videos on my channel, so I do not know what video it is to even reference, but I figured I'd just make a separate video just talking about that. Hold on, I'm kind of ashy. Okay, so it all started when I was born. I knew okay, I'm just joking. We're not starting there. In high school, I, always thought to myself that I wanted to be a physician. I wanted to go to medical school, and I wanted to be a pediatrician. I went to college, and I realized that that wasn't really something that I wanted to do. I felt like I knew in my heart early that I didn't want to go down this route, but I didn't really believe it or declare it until my junior year of college. So I was a biology major in undergrad because I knew I wanted to be in the healthcare field. So I was like, we're gonna go and do that. Because I was just like, I need these classes anyway, regardless of what I decide to do. So I was a biology major, and it was my junior year of college. When I tell you, I had even the MCAT prep books and everything. And I was on the floor in my room, and I was just journaling and praying, and I was just like, God, what am I supposed to do when I graduate? So I was just like, you know what? Let me just look into pharmacy. I didn't even know how it came about. When I tell you, I don't know, because I wanted to be in a field that matched the lifestyle that I knew God was calling me to do. I didn't know exactly what God wanted me to do in that moment, but I knew I wanted to serve and have ministry, which we're all called to minister in some way. But I was just like, you know what, with the lifestyle of a physician, I just didn't feel like it matched what God was calling me to do. And so I really wanted to have a career where I could really have the time to focus on my family and all of that, and just have that time. And not saying that if you're a physician you can't do that, plenty of physicians do it, but I just knew that that's not what I wanted for my life. So pharmacy just came about. I can't even tell you how this came to my mind. And that summer I was applying to a summer research program, and this was just a science research program. It wasn't specifically for pharmacy. And when I had the interview, she was asking me what would be your focus? Is it medical school? Is it PA school? What do you want to do? And I was like, I'm really looking into pharmacy, and I want to know a little bit more about that. She was like, we actually have the perfect spot for you. And I was like, okay. I didn't know what that meant, so at this point I didn't get into the program. So I was like, okay, that seems promising. And so I got into the program, praise God, and I actually was interning at a pharmaceutical research institute that at the time it was affiliated with the school that I go to now, which crazy. And so I was there, and I enjoyed it. It was hard, I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of work, and I was exposed to an environment that I wasn't used to, but I enjoyed what I was learning. And I was just like, wow, I really think I want to do pharmacy. It seems like it's a career that will match the lifestyle that I want to live. And I still get to be in the healthcare world, depending on what area I'm in. I can even still work with patients. and still have that time to focus on like ministry, like, all the things that I want to be able to do. Senior year, I was like, okay, well, let me look into this pharmacy. Not even senior, but that summer, I was like, okay, what do I need to do to go to pharmacy school? I didn't know anyone who was a pharmacist. Like, no one in my family is a pharmacist. I come from a family of teachers, and so I was just like, I don't know. So I was Googling everything, and it was like, you need to take the PCAT. Y'all know my whole PCAT story. I will link that up here. And then I applied. Like, I kind of just was like, all right, let me apply to schools. I got in, and thankfully, like, the program that I did that summer, the director of the whole research lab, he wrote my letter of recommendation. And little did I know was that he was the vice provost of research at my college. So it's just crazy at how like God opens those doors. Like if you're ever wondering like, oh, is this for me? I'm not sure if this is from God. Like God will just open those doors after doors and just bring that confirmation after confirmation. So that's how I knew like, okay, like this is something that I need to continue pursuing. Being in pharmacy school now and about to graduate, one of the reasons why I still enjoy pharmacy or why I decided to do pharmacy was because one, I wanted to be in the healthcare field, and two, I wanted to have a career that I could still have the time to focus on the things that I wanted to do, like, ministry wise. And now, like, with me starting YouTube, like, I definitely want to invest more time in that as well. And yeah, being at the heart of medicine, I think it's really cool to see how much you can learn and how much like help you can give individuals, patients, and the healthcare team about medications. Like on rounds, the pharmacist makes so many interventions about the patient's medication. So like that's so cool to me. So that's like pretty much like why I went into it. Having that flexibility, I feel like in the career, because a lot of people think that if you're in pharmacy, you're only in retail and you're only in the hospital. And there's a lot more. Like there's industry pharmacy, so you can work for a pharmaceutical company. There's long-term care facilities that you can work for. You can work for insurance companies. Like there's a lot of different things that you can do in the pharmacy career. And I'm the type of person where I don't like to be in the same place for a very long time. And not like I like to just be like, oh, bye, but I like to be able to expand my knowledge and my experiences. So I really felt like pharmacy was where I could do that. I'm not saying that you can't do that in other careers, but I just really like the fact that I could have that time and I can still be able to have that flexibility and still be able to have the time to do the things that I also enjoy doing on the side. So that was like one of my main reasons. And if you're watching this video to kind of answer the question that you may be asked on your pharmacy interview, I would recommend that you definitely like don't just say like, oh, I'm doing pharmacy for the money and the flexibility, because those are all like reasons, but those aren't reasons why schools want to accept you into their program. What I would focus on is really just talking about like how much you enjoy, learning about medications, being at the heart of medicine, and really being able to help patients. But also I would talk about, things that are happening right now. Like the coronavirus is something that is huge. So like if you have your interview around this time, you can mention that, like, even with the virus that is going around right now, I really feel that pharmacists can really help to, counsel patients who come in who have concerns, tell them the proper ways that they can help to avoid catching viruses, especially in a time like this. So those are things that you can talk about, and that will really show that you are up to date as far as like what's going on health-wise, and it really show that you are interested in the field. So I would mention stuff like that, like things that are current, like like talking about antibiotic resistance and how we as pharmacists can really help to crack down on patients receiving antibiotics who should not be receiving them, and you find interest in that. Be genuine that interests you, but at the same time be relevant and say something different, because everyone's gonna say they want to help patients. Everyone's gonna say that they were always interested in being a pharmacist since they were like 5 years old, or they had someone who was a pharmacist that impacted them. Like, yes, that stuff is great, but if you can show them that you have like relevant things, that you're doing your research, that you are really interested, that can really make a difference. So I would definitely mention that as well. Yeah, my story is like very straightforward. Like I didn't necessarily know I wanted to be in pharmacy. when I was in high school. Maybe I would have done the 6-year program, but honestly, looking back at it, I think financially it was smarter to do 4 years at a SUNY school and then do 4 years in pharmacy school, but it all depends. But yeah, so that's my why. A little story about like why I decided to do pharmacy. Honestly, like coming close to graduation and starting to like look into different job opportunities, it's not as nerve-wracking as I thought. Like I've come to a point where I really am just like focused on whatever God has for me. It's for me, and no one and nothing can take that away from me. So I'm really just trusting that he knows the next steps. To be honest, some of you might be wondering like, oh, what are you doing after graduation? I'll do a whole video on this, but at this point I'm kind of just content and just like, what, let me just pass my boards first and then we'll take it from there. And God has provided me with so much peace about that. So that's where I'm at. So yeah, I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that it helped to kind of just like solidify some of the reasons why you are interested in doing pharmacy, or if you have interest in it, some reasons that could be beneficial to doing pharmacy. Y'all already know the deal. You can comment below or you can email me at behismasterpiece@gmail.com. Go out, be kind, be caring, be loving, buy my merch, and as always, be his masterpiece. Bye, y'all.